that come to our event to share their knowledge and to motivate us with their experience. In this opportunity, we're going to have 10 presentations that come from the 3 research lines of our doctorate. Hence, we are going to have 3 presentations from the research line of energy, 3 presentations from the research line informatics, and a presentation from the research line of automatics. Additionally, we have 2 invited speakers that are Dr. Álvaro Arenas and Dr. Pedro Amorim. Both of them are very well recognized researchers from their areas. At the end of the day, we are going to have a press conference in which we'd like to listen your comments, your feedback, and your thoughts about the experience you live in this innovation camp. So this is our agenda, basically, and now we invite to Dr. Jose Luis Rodriguez to open officially this Summer Innovation Camp 2020.
Okay. Thank you, Liliana. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first Innovation Camp in English, our engineering doctorate program in alliance with the Universidad Autónoma de Bucaramanga, de Occidente y de Manizales, began as a seedling in the great minds of our mentors that gradually matured with the hard work of our researchers. Today, it's a program with more than 50 doctoral students with dreams and aspirations that we help fulfill with the support of a 50+ team of PhD holders accompanying them throughout the doctoral process. I'm very much honored and looking forward to starting this event that breaks with tradition by being innovative, a commonality shared by our doctorate program's model, which is related to innovation and technology-based entrepreneurship. Since it is of such importance to everyone, with the support of the entire institution, we have managed to prepare them to demonstrate the knowledge they have been working on and they will surely and very shortly complete. A knowledge that they will perfect in time, eventually becoming a tool in both their academic and real lives. With our learning and mastery of the English language, we are preparing ourselves to face new challenges, new opportunities, and to complement our training. We can go out into the world and not just now on a paper or in the styles of the articles we read, but we can also interact, present ideas, close deals, and establish international relationships. Thanks to the people who have dedicated many hours of their time in preparing this event, and thanks to those who will allow each presentation to be a success. I am sure we will achieve our goal. I would also like to thank and congratulate all the students on their tenacity, their sacrifice, and their unfailing quest during this time of crisis. Perhaps there is uncertainty, but human beings adapt and learn to live in all types of conditions. We abandon our comfort zone, and perhaps it is particularly more difficult now, given the circumstances. Nevertheless, in these hard times, we realize our great ability as human beings. Welcome all. I invite you to enjoy this great event. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jose Luis. You are really welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, dear students, dear professor, welcome to the Innovation Camp. In a few minutes, we are going to begin. Right now, we are going to share with you some videos. Okay, thank you. Hello, welcome. This is the Innovation Camp. We are going to begin in a few seconds. Please remember the structure for our activity. First, we are going to hear the speaker. Later, we are going to ask questions to the speaker. And the speaker is going to answer. Finally, we are going to provide feedback. We already provide links you can use to provide feedback. Thank you for being with us. Welcome to the Innovation Camp. You can visit the poster session to watch the videos about the students' proposals. And also you can provide feedback. The only thing you need to do is to go to the link and you can visit all the poster sessions. And in some cases, you can access a form, a survey. Inside you can offer special feedback about the problem, the title, the objectives, the research question, and other important issues. Okay, thank you for being with us and enjoy our poster session. And remember, we are ready to the Innovation Camp. Thank you.
Fue una sorpresa cuando me mencionaron lo del cargo. No solo es algo personal, sino también es un acompañamiento institucional que ha realizado la Universidad Autónoma de Manizales. Me siento muy complacido, muy honrado y he aprendido mucho en estos 3 meses. Creo que tenemos unos retos por cumplir en los siguientes periodos del doctorado en ingeniería.
Es importante este tipo de eventos más cuando estamos haciendo un proyecto de doctorado, debido a que las redes de conocimiento se forjan a través de este tipo de eventos como congresos. Poder conocer las temáticas que están manejando a nivel mundial, si tenemos la posibilidad de tener investigadores invitados de otros países, y a su vez también conocer en la región, hablando de Colombia, y nuestros vecinos que están trabajando en proyectos de investigación, lo cual a nosotros nos permite generar esos lazos de conocimiento, redes de conocimiento para poder movilizar los proyectos de investigación y pues seguir aportando a la ciencia.
Bueno, mi experiencia como estudiante ha sido muy gratificante. El doctorado me ha apoyado en temas de movilidad nacional e internacional. Gracias a esto he podido vincularme a las redes de investigación mundial en el tema de innovación agrícola y de análisis de redes en países como Países Bajos, Perú, Ecuador y Brasil.
Hello, welcome. This is the Innovation Camp. We are going to begin in a few seconds. please remember the structure for our activity. First, we are going to hear the speaker. Later, we are going to ask questions to the speaker, and the speaker is going to answer. Finally, we are going to provide feedback. We already provide links you can use to provide feedback. Thank you for being with us. Welcome to the Innovation Camp. You can visit the poster session to watch the videos about the students' proposals, and also you can provide feedback. The only thing you need to do is to go to the link, and you can visit all the poster sessions, and in some cases you can access a form, a survey. Inside you can offer special feedback about the problem, the title, the objectives, the research question, and other important issues. Okay, thank you for being with us, and enjoy our poster session. And remember, we are ready to the Innovation Camp. Thank you.
Fue una sorpresa cuando me mencionaron lo del cargo. No solo es algo personal, sino también es un acompañamiento institucional que ha realizado la Universidad Autónoma de Manizales. Me siento muy complacido, muy honrado y he aprendido mucho en estos 3 meses. Creo que tenemos unos retos por cumplir en los siguientes periodos del doctorado en Ingeniería.
Es importante este tipo de eventos más cuando estamos haciendo un proyecto de doctorado, debido a que las redes de conocimiento se forjan a través de este tipo de eventos como congresos. Poder conocer las temáticas que están manejando a nivel mundial, si tenemos la posibilidad de tener investigadores invitados de otros países, y a su vez también conocer en la región, hablando de Colombia, y nuestros vecinos que están trabajando en proyectos de investigación, lo cual a nosotros nos permite generar esos lazos de conocimiento, redes de conocimiento, para poder movilizar los proyectos de investigación y pues seguir aportando a la ciencia.
El Innovation Camp es un espacio de reconocimiento y enriquecimiento, en donde la comunidad académica y científica del doctorado en Ingeniería escucha todas las propuestas de doctorado de nuestros estudiantes, reconoce sus avances, reconoce sus fortalezas y les ofrece realimentación, les ofrece sugerencias de mejora, enriquece a través de la interacción con la comunidad el ya excelente trabajo que vienen desarrollando nuestros estudiantes. Así que los esperamos todos en el Innovation Camp.
Mi nombre es Liliana Calderón Benavides, coordino la línea de informática del doctorado en Ingeniería. Estamos desarrollando el Innovation Camp, que es una iniciativa que busca que los estudiantes que están cursando nuestro doctorado compartan los avances, los adelantos, los resultados de sus trabajos de investigación que están desarrollando actualmente. En estas jornadas también contamos con la presencia de diferentes conferencistas a nivel nacional, quienes nos están acompañando para darnos a conocer adelantos en las diferentes áreas de conocimiento que se manejan en el doctorado, que son informática, energía, automática. Les invitamos a unirse a nuestro doctorado y a continuar esta labor de innovación, transferencia e impacto con la comunidad de nuestro país.
Coordinador del posgrado en Ingeniería Estructural de la UAM. La estructura universitaria depende de la coordinación de los posgrados de la División de Ciencias Básicas e Ingeniería de CBI. El doctorado es un doctorado que forma al alumno de una manera dual, concentrado a la investigación, pero no solamente a la investigación, sino para que también sea un buen docente. Entonces,
Fue una sorpresa cuando me mencionaron lo del cargo. No solo es algo personal, sino también es un acompañamiento institucional que ha realizado la Universidad Autónoma de Manizales. Me siento muy complacido, muy honrado y he aprendido mucho en estos 3 meses. Creo que tenemos unos retos por cumplir en los siguientes periodos del doctorado en Ingeniería.
Hello, welcome, Dr. Arenas. Are you there? Welcome, Dr. Arenas. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Jorge. Jorge Enrique.
Hello, Dr. Arenas. How are you?
¿Cómo estás? How are we going? With English, Spanish, or whatever you wanted?
Okay, thank you. In English, we prefer English today. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, no problem at all.
Thank you. Could you please share your screen, please?
Okay, I can do that. Just
Thank
give
you.
me 1 second.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me and see me?
Yes.
We can see your screen, but I'm not sure about your. Oh yes, we can see your camera. Hello, Dr. Alvaro. How are you?
Hey, hello. I'm seeing you for a long time, actually. I haven't seen you for a long, long time. Actually, Jorge, don't take it bad, but I see you in the street and I wouldn't recognize you.
Thank you, Dr. Alvaro. Thank you. It's a pleasure for us. You can join us today. I would like to give the floor to Dr. Liliana Calderon. She's going to present you. Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Liliana, please go ahead. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, Dr. Arenas.
Hi, Liliana. Very nice
Hi.
being here and seeing you.
Sure, but I don't see you.
Well, I don't know. I'm here.
Yes, yes,
You
yeah.
cannot
Now
see me? All right.
yeah, right. Now I see you. So, okay. Really, I would like to start saying thank you for us. It's really a honor having you here today. And I will introduce you to our community. We have now 28 people listening us and very curious to listen and attend your presentation in this innovation camp. So Álvaro Arenas is an innovator, researcher, technology fan, professor of information systems and director of the Department of Information Systems and Technologies at the IA Business School in Madrid, Spain. He holds an MSc and Doctor of Philosophy in Computation from Oxford University, as well as a Bachelor and a Master in Systems Engineering and Computation from Universidad de los Andes, Colombia. Dr. Arenas' main research interest lies in trust and security in distributed information systems. In his view, the digitization of business requires the interoperation of systems between enterprises, but there is a resistance to such interoperability due to the lack of trust of alien systems and the reticence to expose corporate systems to new risks, especially security risk. Dr. Arenas' research work has focused on tackling this challenge by applying trust and risk management techniques in order to secure distributed collaborations. His research has been published in a number of top-tier academic journals. To highlight some of his research work include models for reputation management in service computing, trust management in virtual organizations, and business collaborations, security requirements for large-scale distributed systems, and usage control in business process. Dr. Arenas was a senior research scientist here in Colombia for a long time, and the Science Technology Facilities Council in the UK, leading the distributed system team in the STFC Science Center there in the UK. And previously, he was ahead of the Information Technology Group at the Universidad Autónoma de Bucaramanga, which is one of the universities that conform the program of a PhD. So with this introduction, for sure, everyone here is more curious now to attend your presentation, Dr. Arenas. So I leave you to start. Thank you.
Okay, Liliana, thank you very much for the introduction. Actually, it reminds me that I need to update my CV from the web. Right. So first, I would like to say thanks a lot. I'm feeling like going back home, actually, because in my heart, I feel UNAP and I feel Bucaramanga, like going back home. So I'm feeling like virtually going back home. Liliana was talking a little bit about myself, so I'm going to go very, very fast. What I'm doing, I'm an engineer by training. My undergraduate, and I'm assisting engineering and computation from Uniandes, and I did my PhD at Oxford, working on computation, actually. I have been in not many houses, should I say, in my academic experience. I started my career working long time ago in Telefonica, and before Telefonica and Telecom in the research center in telecom. All my career has been around research. I started working in telecom, in the research center of telecom that was called eTech. And then I went to do my PhD. When I finished my PhD, I decided to go back. I have to go back to Colombia, and I went to Bucaramanga, and I have 4 years in UNAP. It was a very lovely experience. My family and myself will really love UNAP and Bucaramanga, and what I would say is very special in my heart. I went back to UK, and I was working for one of the research council in the UK for several years. And 10 years ago, decided to move to Spain, looking for some, and here we are, right? In terms of research, actually, like Liliana mentioned, my main research interest is distributed systems. But actually, today, we can say that almost all systems are distributed, actually. And I'm working in particular and interested at the moment in 2 main things: trust and security, which is something which I've been working for a long time, trust and security. And also, I'm very much interested in digital innovation, how organizations use technology, make advantage of technology. And this is a little bit of the kind of in the research that I've been doing recently. For instance, I got an article on how to use technology for smart systems and for smart tourings, or how to secure system in IoT, or public creation and IT creation in the public sector in general. At the moment, I have 2 main research projects. I'm the principal investigator in IE for a European project which is called Digimatics. Here, where we try to do is to develop an index, a maturity index about the use of technology by children and teenagers, actually. And then we are in charge of collaborating for the developing of the index, and in particular, measuring things related to cyber stress, security, and also for designing the algorithms for the index, because at the end, the index is going to be implemented as a classificator using machine learning, and we are going to develop that. And I got another project with some colleagues from Nordic universities, in which we are looking at blockchain and the way that we can use governance in blockchains. Actually, this is using blockchain for governance in corporations, but the other way around as well, and having how to do governance in blockchain projects, right? Alastria is the consortium for blockchains in Spain. I represent IE, Instituto de Empresa for some people in Colombia. That's the name that is now, we are now in South America. Okay, so the talk. So my talk today is about, when Liliana asked me, invite me very nicely, very kindly invite me, I would say, you can talk about innovation. I said, okay, what should I say about innovation? And I'm working on digital innovation, and I thought that was, let's talk about open innovation. And in particular, about the opportunities that are coming from open innovation. And now a few slides, you're going to see what I mean by opportunities. But I mean, since she told me that people are doing the PhD in engineering, and also people, the idea of the program is to have a spirit which is entrepreneurship and technology, I said, okay, I'm going to try to combine both of things. So the opportunities, I'm going to talk about the opportunities of open innovation, right? And the opportunities for business and the opportunities for research, actually. And I'm going to start my talk with the conclusion. My conclusion is that I want you to see the synergies that we can do when we do practical work, in particular in open innovation, how research problems are coming from that practical work, actually, and how that fit research, and the other way around, how research really fit the practical work that we can do in business, okay? So how we're going to do here, actually, anytime that anybody got any question, feel free to ask me. No, doesn't matter. Just please use your hands, not necessarily the chat, because I'm not looking at the chat, so I may miss the question that you may put in the chat. And then the idea is try to keep this very informal, any question that we can do. So what is the idea of innovation? So innovation can be viewed as the application, better solution to meet new requirements and articulating needs, any market, anything that we can do, which is going to improve whatever we have that is already a system, okay? The way that we are doing it in that way. Now, innovation usually is coming like a funnel, right? Which ideas come from one side, actually, and then those ideas are developed They pass from the initial idea to the concept, then to the launch, and then finally companies arrive into the final product. Actually, that's the classical way in which is innovation. And that innovation, working in that way, is what people call traditional or closed innovation, which that innovation is developed within the boundaries of the organization, actually. Usually, the idea here is that the organization could have a research and development center, like big companies, and could have people doing research in some particular problem, and by themselves, they try to solve that problem in order to generate finally a product or a service which is going to go to the market. Okay, that has been the classical, and then some people developed a few years ago the idea that in open innovation, the idea that we should go beyond the limits of the organization, the idea that we should look beyond that and try to incorporate ideas from external parties. And that's what is open innovation. It's ideas and technologies which are not coming within the organization, but also they come from abroad, right? We can think about the funnel, and that funnel got some holes. Those holes are coming ideas. Those ideas coming from my customers, from partners, from my suppliers, for different parts here. So what is the plan here? That the research and development is got value as the internal as the external one. So both ideas which are internally and externally, we take advantage here, or we may take advantage of the intellectual property that has been produced in other organizations, right? And this is becoming very popular because there have been some studies. This is a study by Eric von Hippel from MIT, in which the main sources of innovation for most of the organization nowadays, they are coming external. They are not coming from within the organization, coming from either the users, the customers, maybe the suppliers, maybe the manufacturers, etc. So this is a study that they have done and found that. So an example here, a very classical example is mountain bikes, actually. Mountain bikes are nowadays the most popular bikes in the world, and is the #1 product in bikes that is sold around the world. And you can ask, who created the mountain bike? Nobody. That was created in California as a sort of open innovation. People was trying to change the wheel, to change features of the bike, to make it much more practical to be countryside, to be in the mountain. And that was the beginning of the mountain bike. Actually, so it's not something that somebody invented or created. This is people working together and transforming. And nowadays it's the #1 product in bikes. Okay, now this is what is going to be the talk. So in the talk, I'm going to talk about the opportunity of open innovation, what I was mentioning, opportunities for open innovation in business. Here I'm going to want to focus in the models of open innovation, and in particular, we are living a very particular situation at the moment, actually. We are in a big crisis in the world, and I want to make an emphasis how open innovation is helping and is contributing to try to solve this current crisis that we are living, the crisis of COVID-19, actually. But at the same time, I want to talk about the research opportunities of open innovation. And I want to make emphasis in some open issues like what are the right business models that should be applied, how we create value here, or how we do governance in collaboration when we got open innovation. And then what I said at the beginning, I'm going to jump to the conclusion. And then the conclusion here is I want you to focus on see how the business problems fit the research, and on the other way around, the research fit the business problem. What I would say is the two sides of the same coin, that we can have it in that way, look at it in that way. So let's have a look to different models of doing open innovation in the business world. This is what I call the opportunity for business. So I'm going to talk in particular 4 models. One of the models is what people call collaborative communities. I'm going to talk about them in a minute, right? The other is context, to have complementors, and labor markets, right? So what is the idea of collaborative communities? The idea here is to get a group of people, version that outputs produced by a group of people. We aggregate that output and we create a product or a service which in itself got a lot of value having in that, okay? The classical example that all of you may be familiar is Wikipedia. Wikipedia is an example, and I would say the exemplar of collaborative community. People working together. There are a set of community. Anybody can contribute there. There are different hierarchies, right? And then there are editors. There are super editors. They are really checking the content that is produced, that is correct, the content, and then managing the encyclopedia, actually. There is a lot of research issues here. I mean, it's like how we do the governance of this collaboration, how we define the hierarchy that we can do. So this is an example on Wikipedia. Open source. Open source is another way of collaborative open innovation. Android, the most popular operating system used nowadays, actually is an open source effort, and different companies and different people contribute and growing and the open source product as such. And then those two are quite popular as an open source communities, but let's bring one associated more as a business, actually, and let's see it how to use in business. And I decided to bring an example coming from South America, actually. We can say next door Colombia, which is coming from Brazil. And it's an example from Fiat. Fiat launched a car that they call the Fiat Mio. And they branded as the world's first crowdsourced car. How was created that car? This is a concept car. And what they want to do was asking people to collaborate and to give idea what they would like in the car. What is the favorite car that they have? And they would like to get ideas. And from there, they want to generate the product that we can do. Let's have a look to a video showing what was happening here. So can you confirm me that you see my screen, the video, or is it still with the PowerPoint?
We are still on the PowerPoint, Dr. Alvaro.
Okay, so let me change the PowerPoint. I'm going to stop here. I may need to switch here, because now I realize that I didn't do the sharing. I didn't share. Okay, I'm sharing now the PowerPoint, moving here. Okay, so let me share here. Okay, so let's see.
Yes.
The automotive industry's new projects are best kept secrets. The designs are secret. The new features are secret. Everything that is remotely innovative is secret. Fiat has a history of breaking the norm, but this time we came up with something beyond the car, something that has never been done before. Why couldn't Fiat build the first collaborative car in the world? They could, and they did. Fiat didn't mind opening their doors and their creative process to tens of thousands of people, giving their opinion on how and what would make the perfect car. After the submission of thousands of ideas from 160 countries, Fiat Mio came to life. It was unveiled at the Sao Paulo Motor Show, Latin America's largest auto show. Gradually, the innovations that people conceived and shared for Mio are coming into the real world through the latest Fiat launches. And the best part is, those innovations don't belong to Fiat. They are all Creative Commons, and that means that anyone can use them, even other automakers. They came from the people to the people. Fiat Mio.
Okay, let me switch, and I'm back here. Okay. Right. So this is an example of open innovation in business, actually. This is a company that wants to create a product, and creating that product, they ask a community, in this case, customers, users of cars, how to create, what they like, what is that they like in the ideal car. So the whole starting point was, the original idea was asking customers what they would like in the cars. Actually, what you saw in the video, they got more than 10,000 ideas, right? Those ideas were organized around topics, and then asking people again for the feedback, which one should you make a priority? And then they got until the final designs what they want to do, and they create a product on that, actually. So this is an example in which using collaboration, right? And the community here is helping a company to create a product. And here there is a lot of open issues. How we manage that amount of ideas, how to do governance here, how we organize this. We may use technology to collect that. What is the technology behind? What is the proper technology that we're using here, okay? So this is an example that we are coming here. And there are other ways of doing collaboration. I was mentioning in the current situation that we are living. And another example of open innovation and collaboration is the idea of data sharing, right? And what is the idea in data sharing? The idea in data sharing is that we share data, and in particular scientific data, and people try to get the data and make sense of the data that others are producing and sharing, and try to create new products or services. For instance, these are all initiatives associated to the COVID-19, right? People getting the data we're collecting on the different countries or the different studies that scientific have done it, and then try to see how we can make more research of that and improve our knowledge. This is another way of doing collaboration here, starting here in Spain. You know that we in March, we have a very, very critical moment. We were almost in the peak of the pandemic. And then people that got 3D printings, they decided to create a community, the coronavirus makers here. They were in Telegraph using social media, and everyone that got, the medical people didn't have enough equipment, which is happening in many countries. We were not prepared for this situation. People were not really prepared, and then people start to offer them whatever I have, actually. And then the people having 3D printings, right? They offer the 3D printing and they offer to print. And then there was the idea of printing whatever it was needed as a medical equipment. And for instance, we got 3D printing in the university that I'm working with. And then the people in the School of Architecture, they contributed and they fabricated something which is called the shelters, like this part, the yellow one, that is needed for the visitors and the protection by the doctors. Okay, so this is an example of collaboration. As well, helping in practical problems, and also open for many issues here, how we manage that collaboration, how is the organizational collaboration in case of pandemic, in case of crisis, how we use social media here on doing that. Okay, so this is a type of open innovation. Another type, which is more classical, is what people call, I would say the main one, the most classical or the most known in open innovation is the idea of creating a context to create a competition. There is usually a company, which is a sponsor, they have an specific problems, and usually they offer cash. And then companies, right, they are willing, people are willing, the solvers are willing to solve that challenge and that problem, and they receive that cash. Okay, so let's see an example on how it's done that. This is a platform which is called Innocentive, and this is the platform, one of the most popular platforms for open innovation and competitions on that. So let's have a look to a video about this company, and then we can look at that one. So just a minute, and then let me. Can you see me, guys?
Yes, Dr. Alvaro, we can see your camera right now.
Okay, so I'm going to change my windows now. And then I got a different one here. Okay, because for some reason I couldn't put the videos inside my PowerPoint and work, and then for that reason I need to go down.
How do you innovate better, faster, and with less risk, while ensuring that your company stays competitive and achieves sustainable revenue growth and profit? Introducing Innocentive, the industry pioneer in open innovation, crowdsourcing, and prize competitions. We enable businesses, government agencies, and nonprofits to generate creative new ideas and solve problems by connecting them to diverse communities of problem solvers, including employees, customers, partners, and the world's largest problem-solving network, which reaches over 12 million creative and diverse minds. Innocentive's business revolves around the concept of overcoming challenges, which at the core are well-formed problems whose solutions have value. Our customers use us to identify, develop, and run challenges as private or public competitions with award-based incentives. Our customers maintain full control over the process, including the audiences to which the challenges are presented, as well as the award amounts, which can range from $500 to over $1 million. Challenges come in a variety of forms, from brainstorming and general idea gathering for marketers seeking insight from customers, to complex technical or scientific problems, which, if left unaddressed, may derail an important development effort. We also run grand challenges, which are highly visible and valuable challenges that are uniquely tailored for each customer. Solutions to these unique challenges typically have far-reaching benefits to humanity and the world. For more than a decade, Innocentive has run thousands of challenges across a wide range of disciplines, while successfully managing intellectual property and protecting the anonymity of our customers. We typically work with our customers in two primary ways. We help you to identify ideas and needs and run challenges to quickly solve problems affecting specific programs. Time to value is often short, a matter of weeks depending on the type of challenge. Or you can leverage our cloud-based innovation platform and expert services to help you develop an open innovation capability that spans your division or entire organization. These longer-term engagements start delivering value almost immediately, and we also provide options for running trial programs. For all of our solutions, we provide ongoing support, coaching, and training. Innocentive's goal is straightforward. We want to help you achieve measurable innovation and business outcomes. Our business model is based on paying for solutions, not work or failure. We strive to fundamentally change your economics of innovation and problem solving. Leading organizations partner with Innocentive to harness the power of open innovation, crowdsourcing, and prize competitions to solve problems and innovate faster, more cost-effectively, and with less risk than ever before. Are you ready for the challenge? Visit www.innocentive.com or call 1-855-CROWD-NOW to get started. Innocentive, where the world innovates.
Okay. So I brought Innocentive because this is the most popular, and I want to bring it as a practical example of open innovation, because as you saw in the video, many companies are using that. Actually, so they launch for people around the world. Everyone can connect it to Innocentive as a solver, for instance. And they launch different kind of challenge, and people around the world work for solve the challenge, and they receive a reward, a payment for that. They have been working for many years, for instance, even in 2007, right? And then they were helping in, I don't know if people remember, a long time ago, we got an oil spill in Alaska, actually. And they launched the idea how we can clean the sea, how can clean the water in the sea using that. And people got different techniques, and then they evaluated, they put that in Innocentive. And actually, one of the advantages of innovation is that many of the solutions are not coming necessarily from the same sector, from the same industry that we are focused on. So somebody came from a different area and came with an idea that was used for construction and how they were dealing with cement, and they're doing on that, and that's used that idea to take the oil out of the sea. So this is an example of the use of innovation of Innocentive. And now there are several platforms. Innocentive is not the first one. There are several. InnoJet, which is another of the platforms in open innovation, is launching several challenges which are associated to solving COVID. So people around the world are working and try to help in the current situation that we can do. Okay, so we got already context, collaborative community, and another way to look in at open innovation is what people call complementors, which this is the most popular one around platforms. This is the idea that I got some platform which there are different kind of stakeholders, and they are collaborating one with each other in order to generate new product or new services, right? So enable market for goods or services, and they are built from different technologies. And The classical example here is iTunes. Actually, iTunes, we can see it as a complementors, right? Or any app stores where there are different apps which are proposed there. Anybody can use the apps. I can develop new apps, but I'll even create a new app combining the apps that are there, actually. And this is the idea of complementary. Look for complementarities and then create new things from the complementarity that we can do that, right? And the last one, the last example in open innovation is what people call labor markets, right? And what is the idea? These are platforms, again, and this platform try to make a match between the talent, which is over there to solve problems, with somebody needing one of the person that could solve that problem, right? And a popular example of that, I don't know if people are familiar with Amazon Mechanical Turk. Amazon Mechanical Turk is one of the platforms which anybody can subscribe there, and you can do a small task, and then you receive a payment for that small task, actually. So anybody can get, the payment is very minimum, 50p, 50 cents of dollar, etc. And people receive the payment for doing the work on that. Or there are more sophisticated. This is the case of Topcoder. Topcoder is a labor market for programmers, for people working as a programmer. There is a pool of programmers. Then a company came and they said, I need to get somebody that's write a program for this situation. And then the programmers, they do the designs and they offer the designs. And then the platform help the customer to choose the design that they wanted. And they choose a programmer and pay that person for doing the work. So they're doing a matching between the needs, somebody, and a pool of talent, which may help in solving that match, okay? So these are the examples which I have as the opportunities of open innovation, right? So we can see that as an opportunity of open innovation, as I would say, one side of the coin, actually. But in my talk, I was mentioning several times that many of those practical uses of open innovation, they are generating by themselves research opportunities. And that's when I want to move now on research opportunities on open innovation, actually. And there are several ways that we can see the opportunity for research here. There are several open questions that need to do research here, like for instance, how do companies manage all the knowledge flow between the different partners in open innovation? How we do governance of collaboration. For instance, the coronavirus makers in Spain, that was thousands of people, and actually that was extended for Europe. Actually, that was extended to several countries. How we manage that kind of collaboration, how we put order to that, actually. Many of these projects are very good idea. How we make them sustainable in the long time, right? In which this doesn't work for everything. This is not a Swiss Army knife. In which cases this doesn't work, actually. Or what is the proper business model that we can do here in order to generate value here, right? Or how to manage the complexity of model that are here and taking into account the openness problem, the service-oriented that we are moving, and now digitization, etc. So there are many issues on that. So what I'm going to do in the remainder of the task is bring an example of one of those research. This is a research that I was doing with some colleagues, with JMA Go from Simon Fraser University in Canada, and Brian Matthews from STUSC in the UK, actually. And this is related to that kind of open innovation that I presented at the beginning of the collaboration of data sharing, right? And the idea of data sharing is like the practice of making the data used for research, scholarly research, available to others investigators. And there are even companies that are working on that, managing the data sharing on that. So it's a type of collaborative community. And this involves the establishment of a lot of complex information system, communication infrastructure, etc. And we tried to solve one of those questions that was here, that I was posing here. And the question that we focus here was how is value created through data sharing. Actually, so this is a research that we published in the Journal for of the Association for Information Science and Technology. How is value created on data sharing? So let me show you how we did this research and how we contribute to the digital innovation community around these ideas. Actually, I would say the most popular example of data sharing is the Human Genome Project, actually, that was running for many years. The idea was to do the whole mapping and sequencing of the human genes, actually generating a lot of business coming from them. So this is the most popular one. In our case, we focus on 2 cases, and we did a multi-case study. We focus on 2 companies which they were working, 2 organizations working on data sharing. Actually, the Cambridge Crystallographic Data Center, this is serving a community of people working on material science in crystallography, in chemical, analyzing the components of molecules, etc. And this organization got the largest database on crystallographic information, actually. So the largest one in the world. Everyone working in crystallographic around the world use the data that they have and not produce data for them. And the other is the British Atmospheric Data Center. This is a center which is managed as well, is sponsored, funded by one of the research council in the UK, the National Environment Research Council, actually. So we use those companies and we try to see how they create value, actually. And this idea came from a practical idea. I have been visiting people in SPSC and talking to people from BADC, and in general in the data sharing community, there is the problem that how we deal with sustainability in the long term as well. And the way that we look at sustainability is how they create value, right? Let's try to understand how to create value. And in order to how to create value, we need to understand as well, how is the business model behind, actually. So we use as a theoretical framework this paper, which was published in the European Journal of Information Systems, and it was a paper presenting the business model concept, actually. And there are different ways of looking at business model, but something which we like here was that they have a sort of what they call the business model dimension, which is there are 4 main parts in a business model: the value proposition, what they are offering to the different stakeholders, the value that provide with the technical architecture, how they generate the revenues, and how they manage collaboration. And we decided to analyze, going further in the research, try to analyze each of these dimensions and to see which one was more prevalent here and were contributing more to generate value into this kind of collaboration in data sharing. So the idea of value proposition is how to create value for customer segments through the offering of products or services. The idea of the value architecture is let's analyze how the architecture, how the organizational infrastructure, not only technology, but also the organizational infrastructure needed to create value. And then the value network is the way in which different parts of the organization, they coordinated and they collaborate with external partners, with other parties. And the value finance is related to the cost, to the pricing, the revenue, to sustain the creation of value. Okay, so those are the way that we do. So what we did here is a qualitative study, actually. And what we did was we went to those places and we interviewed different stakeholders. We interview managers, we interview users of the infrastructure, people working there. Actually, we got semi-structured interviews with different stakeholders and try to understand how is value created for them, right? And then we went to both organizations, then compare those organizations and try to draw some conclusion. So let me show you how we move for the different stages in that research. And the first one related to the value network. The idea here is to represent the way in which that organization collaborate and generate value with the different stakeholders, where we can see them as the different partners which are working there, right? So we can see that as a sort of multi-party stakeholder network and how value is exchanged. And here we leverage from a methodology and a tool which is used in requirements engineering, which is called the E3 value methodology. Actually, we use that tool, and this is a tool that allowed us to model the different stakeholders. For instance, this is a very simple in e-commerce, buyer and sellers, and how value flow in between them. So for instance, the buyer paid for a product to the seller, and the seller sent the product, the goods, to the buyer. But the seller needs to report about the VAT, about the taxes, to the tax office, and they are sending some legal compliance, right? So this is the way that how in an organization value flows, right? These are the main stakeholders that we can have in CCDC, in the Cambridge Crystallographic Center, right? They have people producing data that they put the data in the data center in the repository that they are managing, people that consume the data, that those are more the academic community that want to do research. Actually, also another kind of consumer could be business, the pharmaceutical ones. Actually, in this particular community, they are working as well with publisher, academic publisher. Anybody publishing a research paper in this community, usually they need to publish as well the data that they generated. And the data is deposited in CCDC. So they are working on that. And actually, they are working as well with companies which are creating software for using that data. So they work hand in hand with software vendors, right? That they provide software to solve the crystal structure of the molecules, right? The way that we can do it. And this is the value network using the E3 value methodologies, right? I'm not going to get you in the detail, but show you how flow value. So what I was mentioning, the academic community produce data, and they produce data because people want to get good reputation, recognition for having the data there. The data is managed by CCDC, and they manage that data. And also there is a sort of reputation for having the data there. That means that your crystal structure is very well known, is a real research product, and is managed by this organization. So people want for doing recognition there. So for instance, the business, they want the data and they pay to get the data. Okay, the academic community get the data, they get additional values, services, and then they are paying for the use of that. So different stakeholders, we model how value flow there as well. These are the different stakeholders, and actually part of the research, what we did was try to recognize what is the value proposition that is coming from that. So for instance, for data consumers, in the interview case that they want to get access to the data set produced by others, and access to value-added services. For the producers, they are very much interested in the data management, in the recognition from their contributions. And then we can have value proposition for the different stakeholders. How is the architecture here, actually? So this is an organization which is an open innovation structure. So they collect the data, and they're created value-added services. So they are creating new services on top of that data. Some of those services are free for the community. Some are for those that pay a license for using those services on that. So they develop tools for visualization, 3D search, analysis, etc. Right? And the way that they do the financing is they follow a model which is basically a freemium model. You got some services by free and some services following you pay a premium for that. Okay? We did the same analysis for the other organization, and we then do what in qualitative research is called the cross-case analysis. We put the two together and we compare, actually. And then the value network was something that both organizations emphasize. And actually, we put the 4 value dimensions. This is the main one, actually, emerged as the key dimension, because this is something which they needed. They need to have collaboration, stakeholder, partners, in order to generate value. So this is central for them, actually. In the value proposition, what they do, and was very much common for the different stakeholders, as emerged as a very relevant, is the creation of value-added services. How this organization collect data and they create new services on top of that data that they are doing. Services like data visualization, data analysis services, actually. And the architecture, even so the two of them use very different technical architecture, they have a focus on customer centricity. Right, and actually the technological architecture is evolving according in the way that the technology advances, and they are very much focused on the customers, and they have customer support, and very good one, which is very much appreciated by their customer that they have. And in terms of the finance, actually they follow a community-based business model where they require really the community, the stakeholders in order to work there, in particular people producing data and people consuming data, actually. And they have different financial model, because in the BIDC, for instance, they are funded by the National Research Council, so they receive sort of grants for people to maintain that. In the CCDC, the main source of income is coming for businesses and the license that they sell on that. What was the result of the research? actually. So the main contribution that I have with this research was we uncovered the relevance of intangible assets, actually. When this company were working, they didn't realize that the main value that they interchange, the main asset is data. But a lot of the things that they were interchanging into the different partners was intangible. Intangible like data management, data preservation, transparency in the research process, knowledge, expertise, recognition, etc. actually. And on the practical side, we recommended there to work on what people work in business, they call value conversion. Try to call those intangibles and converting them into those intangibles, converting them in tangibles. Like they have already done it because, for instance, they create services for data visualization on top of the data, or value enhancements to have new services on top, like creating metadata on top of the data. And with that, I'm finishing, and I'm finishing with the conclusion that I anticipated, right? The idea that I want now to move on a discussion on that is like, from open innovation, you can have several opportunities for business and for research, actually. Several opportunities in business and research. And this is a clear example of how business and technologies feed research and vice versa. Actually, this is coming like a cycle, and that's what I call the two sides of the same coin. And with that, I'm closing, and thank you very much. I'm very happy to any questions, any comment that you have on this.
Thank you, Dr. Alvaro. Thank you very much. Great talk. Thank you. We can maybe take some questions for the public. Cesar, hello.
Cesar, nice to see you.
Hi, Jorge.
Yeah.
Alvaro, good to see you. Great talk. Thank you very much. And something that Alvaro forgot to say actually was that he was, I think, was the second director of research here at the university. So glad that you're back somehow here, and especially with this topic. So my question is, so I was thinking, so how to promote, I would say, like a scientific pandemic mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean this mentality where we come together in a very quick manner to solve a problem like a pandemic problem. But as you know, we have several pandemic problems, not just the COVID-19. So how is that we can promote from the university side this type of, let me call it also like this innovation-driven research agenda?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that come to my mind answering that question is related to something that we try with the doctoral program, which is working on based on challenges, and having those challenges is not an easy task, because asking companies or asking organizations outside for challenges, especially challenges at the doctoral level, but even challenges at other levels, is not easy because of intellectual property things, and so the question is, challenges could be one way, and definitely something that we have to try out and see how do we implement this type of agenda driven by challenges. But what other things from your experience working in different places do you think that will work on creating this innovation driven agenda? So I'm thinking also actually that the university here, in our university, shouldn't be just asking professors to work on projects that they think are important problems to solve, but giving them like a bunch of challenges for them to say, you know, I want to work on those, and I want to work on those with a professor from other university, with someone from industry, but having those challenges there and having also the opportunity to work on open problems or problems that they think that are problems. So how to manage that on the university? I know this is a complex question because we've been trying to do that for many years.
Actually, I have been promoting for a long time. I think from the time that I'm in the UNAP, I'm always in the mentality that research is a team sport, actually. Researcher that want to do research nowadays by himself or herself, without collaborating, without working in teams, it's very, very, very unlikely that it's going to have any impact. So if research want to have impact, research has to be collaborative, to have several people working together. Actually, the challenge that we have in the world today are so complex that if you want to do research with impact and very great research, you need to work in collaboration, right? So this is something which I'm trying to promote for a long time, since the creation of the Sociedad Colombiana de Computación. From that time that we try to promote to say, look, we are a developing country. This is amazing that developed country people collaborate more than here, that we are a poor country, right? And I have been with that mentality all time, and I'm still with that mentality. And I would say the challenges are important, but I would say in many things that we do in life, there are problems that deserve research, and there are like sort of mini challenge, and some of them even could be contribute to a doctoral research. Actually, for that reason, when I was explaining some of the samples, I was making highlight in potential research problems, research questions that need to be solved. So for instance, I was working now that we are working. I mean, the pandemic situation, this is very complex. There are different people around the world working. So I'm going to say a challenge, which is associated to engineering, associated to information systems, right? Which is how we manage the governance of collaboration when there are 1,000 of people doing 3D printing and producing products. How do you organize that? How do you organize the way that they try to uncover how emerge any kind of governance in the discussion that they're having in social media? They were using in social media, they were using telegrams and they were using discussion forums there. What is the kind of topics? How is organized that forum? How they merge in order to produce practical results? Because actually they were sending the final product to the hospitals, and they were trying to collect, and they were collaborating with different stakeholders, like the doctors in the hospital, but also the people that were volunteer in transportators. Actually, the logistic company were involved as well and say, we help you guys, and you don't go out because you're going to get ill. So we took that and we take it there. So there was a lot of community people involved there, actually. So how do you organize that? So this is already by itself a research question, because we don't have an answer, right? How do you organize, how do you do organizations in type of crisis? What is the type of organization they emerge? So this is an example. I got a DBA, a doctoral in business administration students that I'm working at the moment in open innovation, and we are working in value co-creation. Actually, we are working in platforms. So what we are looking here is how people co-create value in platforms, how knowledge flow, and how we manage all what is related to the knowledge property, IPR, etc. So here we are looking at different platforms, like people using, let's say that a cloud platform, but there are different vendors with their producers, and anybody can get, and I can create a new product, which are taking part from the different and putting together and create a new product, actually. And then we don't know exactly if there is a real rule how to manage that kind of collaboration, how we can do in a way that is the best way to manage the IPR, that we can do it on the fly, like I can get the different products. And these are problems related to innovation. Another of the problem that is coming in the labor markets, actually, how you structure there. Some people complain from Amazon Mechanical Turk because they say that they are exploiting people. Is this true? Let's have a look. What is the people working in Mechanical Turk? Are they happy or unhappy? how much money they're doing, they're really contributing or not, etc. So those are mini challenge, mini research problems that you don't need to have a company behind. It's a real situation, and from that real situation, you are creating a research problem, right? But my advice has been always that research problem, even the one that are doing it, I'm not able to work on my own, actually. And I try to have always my colleagues working with me, my collaborators, look for a community in which I can collaborate on that, right? Because what I would say, research is a team sport, right? By ourselves is going to be very, very, very complicated.
Thank you, Albert.
Thank you, Dr. Alvaro. This is a really, really complex environment. I think it's a really rich environment to, as you said, to propose research. I would like to know something about trust. What do you think about the problem of trust, rules, and institution, and of course, knowledge management here to promote, even in our countries, promote open innovation in cases when we don't have enough social capital, enough trust to work and cooperate. What do you think about that, Professor Alvaro?
Actually, I think our culture in Colombia is quite peculiar, actually, I would say, because what have been, I mean, I'm saying nothing new. It's something that when I was in UNAP 20 years ago, I was saying already that. So I'm still repeating the same. What I would say is very, very strange in Colombia, the competition that we got among the research communities, actually. In fact, actually, rather than working in collaboration, I would say. But collaboration and the trust, at least for research, is creating, meeting people and working with them, going to conference, meeting the researchers, having a discussions, and let's work on a paper together. Let's try to solve this together, which I would say this is the best way that you can do the trust and to create the community. Could be open innovation or whatever topic. It could be distributed system, telecommunication, network, could be energy, could be whatever field. Actually, the way that you create trust is meeting people, actually. Trust is created initially, people know you, they know your ideas, you know their ideas, we may click, actually. This is a sort of speed dating, actually, a sort of dating. We see each other, there is some ideas on match, our intellectually we match, and let's try to work together. And then if we do a publication, if I do a publication in UNAP, and I do publication with somebody from UIS, from La UIS, actually this is beneficial for both organizations and beneficial for the country, right? Because at the end it's improving knowledge for the country and knowledge for scientific knowledge, actually. So that's had been my idea from more than 20 years. And I'm still promoting that, actually. I'm in a business school nowadays, and I work and I collaborate with colleagues in engineering schools and in another business school around the world. The paper that I was presenting, I'm working with GMA Go, which she's a colleague of mine in BD School of Business in Simon Fraser University in Canada, right? And have been writing articles with colleagues which are in Aarhus University, Aarhus School of Management in Denmark. Now I'm working with people, the people that I'm collaborating from the Nordic countries are the Copenhagen Business School, etc. We don't look each other as a competitor. We look each other as scientists, as researchers, which are working to solve a problem, right? To collaborate together. Yeah.
Excellent, Dr. Alvaro. Thank you for your answer. We here are gathering together to work about our proposals of our students, PhD students, and I guess this is in the same way to work together to improve our research, and because of that, it's very important to cooperate, to have meetings, to share each other in a community. This is a really strong idea for us, and that's the reason we are here together, gathering together. Thank you, Dr. Alvaro. Maybe we have time for one more question, maybe.
Yes, the final one, because I'm getting into class in 8 minutes.
Oh, yes, true. Thank you, Dr. Alvaro. It was a really great, really great talk, and it's really a pleasure to have a dialogue with you about this really important topic. Thank you, thank you. I don't know, Liliana.
No, one last question. If anybody got any question?
Yes.
I want from the students. Question from the students.
Students. One question.
So we have almost 40 students connected here.
Okay,
en español si es necesario.
Yes, yes, that's true.
Buenos días.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Le habla William Gutiérrez Marroquín, estudiante de doctorado de la Universidad Autónoma de Occidente. Pues he tratado de entender lo más que puedo con mi manejo de inglés, pero de lo que he visto, y le agradezco inicialmente por su presentación, ¿cómo es posible o cómo sería posible llevar estas ideas a pequeñas y medianas empresas?
Vale, las ideas que yo presenté son aplicables tanto a grandes como a pequeñas. Sí. Vale, lo que la pequeña empresa quiere es que el problema
de investigación... Doctor Álvaro, es que las pequeñas empresas tienen unas características bien específicas que a veces no las tienen las grandes empresas, comenzando que son empresas familiares en muchas ocasiones.
Todo depende del problema, William. La que la empresa pequeña quiere es que tú le resuelvas el problema que ellos tienen. Entonces, cuando este tipo de investigación se le puede llevar a una empresa pequeña, cuando lo que tú estás resolviendo como problema de investigación le es relevante a ellos. Ese es y hay que identificar problemas que son relevantes. Muchas son familiares. Entonces, por ejemplo, yo tengo colegas aquí en la Escuela de Negocios que están trabajando en Family Business. Y en Family Business de ellos trabajan en aspectos como cómo se hace la jerarquía, cómo se transfiere o cómo se hace la herencia cuando pasa para que pueda sobrevivir un negocio familiar de generación en generación. Y eso es un problema de investigación que les interesa muchísimo a la empresa familiar, porque la mayoría tiene la idea de que el negocio se lo va a dejar a los hijos. ¿Qué es lo que yo necesito hacer para que ese negocio sea? Entonces, ellos están muy interesados en ese aspecto porque pues es parte de lo que les interesa. Entonces, yo creo que la empresa, pequeña o grande, nos escucha a los investigadores cuando el problema que estamos resolviendo nosotros es relevante para ellos, ¿vale? Pero si yo llego a hablarle de un problema yo estoy investigando, por ejemplo, lo que yo había dicho, cómo le va a la gente en Mechanical Turk y qué tal se siente, le voy a contar eso yo a una empresa, la mayoría de las empresas, si no es usuaria de Amazon Mechanical Turk, me va a decir, no, pero ¿eso de qué va? Eso a mí no me interesa, no me es relevante. Entonces no lo logramos atraer. Entonces, yo creo que por eso era que también es parte de lo que yo decía de tener la moneda de varios lados. Era lo que yo decía, los problemas prácticos alimentan la investigación y la investigación alimenta los problemas prácticos. Y en el caso de Family Business es muy cómodo. Exacto. Estamos viendo un problema práctico que es qué características tienen las empresas familiares que sobreviven más de una generación. Y el resultado de esa investigación al final va a generar en la parte práctica, porque ese resultado le va a interesar a las empresas que son familiares. Y a cualquier jerarca de una empresa familiar que piensa dejárselo a los hijos, dice, bueno, voy a mirar qué es lo que yo estoy haciendo para estar seguro de la continuidad del negocio. ¿Vale? Un poco.
Gracias. Y la otra inquietud mía es que dentro de lo que he estado trabajando, muchas de las pequeñas y medianas empresas aún no han trascendido, por ejemplo, la industria 2.0. Tienen muchas cosas manuales. Entonces, para llevar este tipo de tecnologías, tendría que hacer una propuesta de llevar a la automatización, por decir algo, a un nivel que me permita ahora sí innovar hacia la adquisición de datos, hacia la intercomunicación con los clientes, con los proveedores, ¿sí? Entonces, sí, esa es la inquietud básica allí.
Vale, vale. Ahí sí, ahí me coge para rato, William, que sí yo creo que no voy a poder respondértela con el tiempo que queda, porque ya me toca parar, ¿vale? Porque tengo clase en nada, en 2 minutos, pero yo creo que ahí lo que hay que mirar es un poco cómo promovemos la tecnología en el sentido empresarial actual. Y tampoco hay que Yo soy de los que digo que hay que mirar, hay que localizar la investigación, que lo que estemos haciendo no necesariamente necesitamos una tecnología de punta. Ver con lo que tenemos cuál es la necesidad del negocio que tenemos en el contexto nuestro. Y con ese negocio nos vamos. ¿Vale? Esa es mi idea.
Muchísimas gracias.
Bueno, ha sido un placer. Very
Thank
nice.
thank you, Doctor
Thank
Alvaro.
you.
Thank you very much.
Dr.
Thank
Alvaro,
you.
for sharing
Thank you very
with
much,
us
Exemplar.
such a great speech. And return whenever you want. You are more than welcome in our
that's true.
program. For
Thank you.
sure, you have our arms open.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alvaro.
Muchas gracias.
Good to see you.
Hasta luego.
Thank
Gracias.
you. Good to see you, Dr. Alvaro. Bye-bye.
Gracias.
Thank you, Dr. Alvaro.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Alvaro, and thank you for all the people watching us in YouTube. We're going to close right now the connection. We're going to say bye-bye in YouTube, and we're going to see you later at 2 p.m. again in YouTube. We are going to share another great conference at 2 p.m. Okay, we're going to close YouTube and see you later, and we are going to have 1 minute break to